So now let's turn our attention to the topic of interval inversions. What does it mean to have intervals invert? Well, it's most simply explained this way. Let's say I want to travel from one note to another note. Let's say I want to travel from a D to a G. I can travel up to a G, or I can travel down to a G. And the different ways I'll label that interval going up versus down, that represents the interval inversion. So in this case, going from a D up to a G will result in a perfect fourth. If I start at that D and instead go down to a G, well, that is a perfect fifth. So from that, I can draw the conclusion that perfect fifths invert with perfect fourths. So in terms of visiting one pitch class or another, going up a fourth is the same as going down a fifth. Those intervals invert with each other. Let's take another example. Let's say I'd like to go from F sharp to an A. I can go up to an A by traveling a minor third, or I can go down to an A by traveling a major sixth. So it turns out that minor thirds invert with major sixths. So we can apply this kind of investigation to any interval you can think of, but there are actually some formulas or rules of thumb that apply here. In terms of the numeric interval inversions, I ask you to add 1 and 8. Now add 2 plus 7, 6 plus 3, 4 plus 5. Those all result in the number 9. So it turns out that any two pairs of numbers that add up to 9 represent intervallic inversions. In terms of interval inversions with respect to the qualities or the things that make our generic intervals specific intervals, major intervals invert with minor intervals. Perfect intervals only invert with other perfect intervals. Diminished intervals invert with augmented intervals. So as we pair these qualities with the numerical representations, we can start to see with a little more clarity, as we saw before, how a perfect fourth inverts with a perfect fifth, and how a minor third inverts with a major sixth. We can also surmise plenty of other examples, including how a major second will invert with a minor seventh, and how an augmented unison will invert with a diminished octave.